Hi, hello, welcome to Leap Taken. This is Mika, and here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things witchy, craft related, law of attraction, manifesting esoteric, and everything else in between. This is one of those everything else in between videos. Definitely one of those videos. So I wanted to give this book its just due, the African Goddess Initiation. Okay, so this book, first of all, I did a witchy review on it, and just from what I went through then, I loved it. So I actually finished the book. And it's not one of those things where you just read it cover to cover and that's it. It doesn't work that way. Like there's rituals, journal prompts, meditation, things that make you, to be active. I did not. Full disclosure, I went and I bought the journals that she recommended. I basically got prepared for the most part, but I did not. I just kept reading it. So I did this mistake. It's a mistake of, I'll read it and I'll come back to it. And it's funny because The Witch's Path, I think that's The Witch's Path, yeah. Can't remember her name. I understand she has a YouTube channel. It's on my watch later. I just haven't gotten to it yet, but I'm really looking forward to her, the authors, watching her channel because I've heard nothing but positive things about her. But anyway, I love her book. Like, I'm a fan just from the book. So, The Witch's Path. And one of the things that she writes about is when you are, and I hope it's The Witch's Path. I'll insert some other text if I'm remembering the name of the book wrong. But anyway, she talks a lot about, as someone who's, if you're reading witchcraft books and you walk away like, oh, I didn't really get much. Did you read the book and apply it the way the author intended? So this author intended for you to do the practices, at the end of the chapter. Did you do it? If you didn't do it, then you're not getting what it was supposed to give. You're most likely shortchanging yourself. And I know for a fact this is a problem for me. I have a very bad habit of doing that, including with this when I started it. But unlike Mika of the past, I am actually going to go through and do all of it. Actually, I'm not just doing it from a place of, oh, I just feel bad. Oh, someone's my hand. I feel bad about it. It's more of a place of, I feel like I need to. I feel like it's important that I do it, just to work on myself. And this is a perfect way to start the Witch's New Year, which is October 31st, Samhain. We consider that the Witch's New Year. Yes, there's the calendar Witch's New Year, January 1st, which I also partake in as well. That's a whole other set of goals. But for my spiritual goals, specifically for the witch in me, that's a time for me to really focus and intentionally goal set, to dream, plan, and work on goals. And this is how I'm kicking it off. Rereading and applying at the end. Well, I mean, I'll read some parts, but like really attacking each ritual. Attacking. Yeah, that sounds kind of harsh but aggressive, but I kind of almost have to take that approach. I have to be very deliberate and intentional with this, but let me get into it. So this book is broken up into multiple chapters. So there's like 9 sections, we'll say. The first one is the Threshold Sankofa. Number 2 is the Temple of Ancestors, your soil energy channel. 3, the Temple of Conjurers, your creation energy channel. You see where we're going with this. 4 is the Temple of Warriors, the power energy channel. The Temple of Shadows, your inner monsters. The Temple of Lovers, your love energy channel. The Temple of Griots, your voice energy channel. 8, the Temple of Queens, your insight energy channel. And then 9, the Temple of High Priestesses, your ecstasy energy channel. Just to give you some idea, in chapter 9 or section 9, what the book does is basically each section, she talks about a goddess of sorts and how to use that energy of that goddess, what they represent, how to honor them. And then there's a ritual at the end, not dedicated to the goddess, but dedicated to your self-love, self-care. And that's what the book is, Sacred Rituals for Self-Love, Prosperity, and Joy. So getting into it, I'll just start I'm just gonna like, because I know a lot of people know who Yamaye is. So that's on page 328. Let me just give you a little bit of like why it's so important for me to like do this book. And it's not just because of that specific goddess, but stay with me. So here's what it looks like on that page. Okay. And by the book, it's by the way, it's Abiola Abrams. I don't know if I mentioned that, but I mean, I already gave a review on it. Hopefully, if you watch my channel, you know what I'm talking about. But anyway, long story short, Goddess of Awakening, Yoruba/Nigeria, Coconut Head Wash Ritual. Quote, I am receiving and radiating love. So the way it's set up is each almost chapter or section, each section has these little chapters, and it's about a goddess. So first there's the message of the goddess, their story, so you can learn who they are. So it's a part like history lesson, which I dig. I love that a lot. Then there's going to be how to honor that goddess. So in this case, she says, when you honor goddess Yamaye, you honor being a compassionate mother to your own awakening. You may choose to honor this energy inside yourself or invoke her energy according to your own tradition. Can we talk about that for a second? To your own tradition. This is not initiating into some sort of ATR. It's not. It's not. She is not asking you to do anything disrespectful to those who are initiated. That is not what she's talking about. She goes into a lengthy discussion in the beginning, so I'll spare you that. But what she is doing is giving you a set of keys to unlock multiple doors to access and invoke and tap into the energy that these goddesses represent. And I love that. I love that. So that's that one section, right? And then she has in here to honor the goddess in you. And this is in each section for each goddess. You have been asleep. In your dream state, you were confused. You thought you were less than someone else. You believed that your worth could be quantified. You misheard that you had something to prove. Be still and know that you are a goddess, an earth child of the divine. Awakening to this fact is why you came. And then she goes on to talk about the symbols, colors, auspicious times for that specific goddess, you know. Traditional awakening rituals. So she talks about like an overall ritual, and she kind of breaks down how those rituals operate. And then there's the one for you to do, you know, specifically your awakening ritual over here. Okay. Coconut head wash, ritual intention. I love that she gives the intention and just doesn't just start writing about it. The ritual intention to clear blocked energy and cleanse your spirit. Okay, so you'll need 3 coconuts or pure coconut water. That's it. So part 1, prepare your head wash. She tells you how to do that. Part 2, bless your inner guardian. Part 3 is aftercare. Can we talk about the aftercare? Come on. And then at the end, just to let you know, she's going to tell you to record your process. You know, there's a whole bunch of stuff here, but in your goddess soul book, she encourages you to, I don't know why I can't talk. She encourages you to create a journal and call it Goddess Soul Book. That's a whole other thing. That's just a glimpse. That's so powerful, this sort of stuff. Like, imagine this, and there's so many other, varieties of all different types of rituals that you can do for basically a better you. Even for segment, right here, okay? So this one, it's Goddess of Wounded Healers, Egypt, the sun rises disc ritual. So that's, and it is safe to put myself first. I can't read either, apparently. I don't know what's going on with me. Anyway, so the ritual for this section, for this goddess, is your wounded healer ritual, the sun rises disc. So ritual intention is to raise your frequency and vibration. Here's what you'll need: your goddess soul book, journal, or large piece of displayable paper, and a writing utensil. And she'll go into details of what you have to do, but it's thought-provoking. It's I enjoy each of these rituals. I don't feel like the rituals are silly. I don't feel like they're just having you do something for the sake of doing it. I think that she was so intentional about everything. I love what she's doing as far as the rituals relate back to each goddess. And that's just so awesome. Like your brazen ritual, liberation dance. This is another one. So it says here, ritual intention is to ignite your personal liberation and manifest your power with healing hip circles. Okay, that's awesome. Now, in this section, this is for Citra. Goddess Citra. Satira, sorry, I said it wrong. Satira. Okay, so for this, let me maybe put it back more, maybe you can see that better. So for this one, she's the goddess of brazenness, Guyana, liberation dance ritual. I am bold, brave, shameless, and brazen. So you read her story, Satira's story, and then she gives in every section of the goddess, there's like this gray section where she gives more of a personal experience. So it's not just her telling you who the goddess is, giving you the backstory, and giving you a ritual. She's giving you some personal information. And because I've watched her YouTube channel, I can hear her. When I read these words, it's her voice in my head coming out loud on how, because she's always talking at like an elevated tone, and it's always positive. To me, she's like, it almost gives like, more of a motivational speaker vibe, because that's what I think that's she's a coach of sorts. So she definitely gives that vibe. It's very positive, very, high vibing energy. I don't know. I'm like freaking out right now with my words. Forgive me, y'all. I don't know what's going on with me. I have not had any alcohol, nothing else. Nothing's in my system. I'm just like tongue-tied today. Anyway, how to honor her, for instance, when you honor the goddess Satira, you honor the brazen part of you that is shameless. You may choose to honor this energy inside yourself or invoke her energy according to your own tradition. And then she goes, the best way to honor the goddess in you, the best way to honor Satira in you is to step into your personal boldness. Be willing to see things differently. Hurdles are an illusion. You are powerful. You easily leap over seeming obstacles and transmute challenges. Gosh, I love that. Anyway, so get into it. If you haven't already got it and you were trying to think of a reason, I'm giving you one. I think it could be life-changing. I think if you want to do shadow work, right now, and I think this is the perfect season to get into that type of work. Do it this way. Sacred ritual, self-love, prosperity, and joy. Do it this way, because what this could be part of it. You can go ahead and dig up that shadow self, dig up all that's in you that you think you're avoiding your shadow self. Dig all that up, but maybe end with doing these rituals. You know what I mean? Maybe come in and think about it like this. So you kind of scoop up all the stuff the junk and all that sort of stuff, sort of sort it out on what are we keeping and what are we not? What's just part of who we are? And it may not be pretty and it's not great, but that's who we are. And some stuff are going to stay with us. Shadow work doesn't mean you get rid of your shadow self. Shadow work doesn't mean that you are all fixed, all better. You don't have negative thoughts anymore. That's not what it's about at all. It's more or less coming to terms with that darker part of yourself. Don't get freaked out about the term darker, shadow, dark. It's coming to terms with that. It's motivations, learning what fuels it, what weakens it, understanding it. It's a part of who you are. What you're doing is figuring out that part of yourself, where you began and where it begins, so that you're better at blockages, removing blockages. You're better at cleansings of, for yourself, your mind, body, and spirit. You're better at doing that and having actual real results from that. if you don't come to terms with that part of yourself, it can block blessings. And I'll just say that, okay? I think where this book would come in, and I'm serious, I think where this comes in is when you recognize what it is and you're sorting through it. I think this is a great way for you to learn more about yourself, to honor yourself using goddess energy, okay? To think of yourself as a being that is on the same level and that is made of goddess energy, and you can commune with them as by way of these rituals and these journal prompts and putting yourself into a position where you matter, you know, your essence, the thing that makes you you, is worth writing a paragraph about, worth exploring, you know, worth pleasuring, because she goes into the ecstasy section about that. Like, you're worth experiencing pleasure, and you can talk about it or write about it, you know what I mean? How you felt about it. That's honoring your whole self, including the shadow side. That's honoring yourself. So anyway, I think this is a beautiful way to add that to your practice. And again, the time of year, it's the perfect time of year to do this. You would think I sponsored this, right? The way I'm talking, like I know this woman personally, or she paid me money, but that's how serious I feel about this book. Like, get into it. She did a lot of research for the amount of goddesses that she references in this book, with the amount of history. So if you were ever curious about certain goddesses and who she calls them goddesses, I mean, she had, like, I think it's Marie Laveau in here too. I'm trying to find it. You know, the table of contents. But she refers to her as a goddess because, you know, she passed on. I guess she's considered a goddess now from her perspective, which I could buy into. I'm comfortable. Yep. Marie Laveau, New Orleans, page 66. Let me tell you all about that real quick. So this is the section. Goddess of Abundance, New Orleans, Gree bag ritual. All I do is win. She always does like a kind of like a summarization, but I love that. All I do is win. And she gives you about her story, you know, is a couple pages worth about her story. Then in the gray section, like I said, there's a personal account of sorts, not necessarily about the goddess, about the energy that goddess represents. That's what you're getting into. In this case, abundance. She said, let's talk about abundance. And she goes through that, how to honor the great ancestress, Marie Laveau. That's what she refers to her. When you honor the great ancestress, Marie Laveau, you honor the part of you that is in alignment with your abundance. You may choose to honor this energy inside yourself or invoke her energy according to your own tradition. I love this. To honor the goddess in you, Marie's lifestyle embodied the idea that living well is the best revenge. How can you unabashedly claim your own abundance and good juju? Marie allowed herself to have a voice and shine, which was revolutionary. She thrived as an entrepreneur, and although she had loving husbands, she owned herself. I know that's right. Anyway, so she gives a ritual, talking first a traditional abundance ritual. She explains about the gree bag, and that's something you read. Then the part you do. The ritual intention is to create a money magnetizing gree bag. Like, get into it. So this is what I'm talking about. It's approachable. The ingredient, just the things you'll need are abundance herbs, dried basil, bay leaf, cinnamon, rosemary, a money drawing oil. She said a palm oil, dry black-eyed peas, frankincense resin or oil, ancestral stone, African citrine or Zambian aquamarine or crystal of your choice, a magnetizer, so you want a lodestone or another type of magnet. She said you can use lodestone oil as well. A shell, cowrie shell would be ideal. Beautiful mini bag. And she tells you the colors, a currency, so you want a dollar, paper money, or representation of money, or a silver coin. And then a magical writing utensil. These things, I think, for the most of us, are accessible. If you don't have cowrie shells, which you can get cowrie shells now, if you happen to have some shells from a craft store or your last trip to the beach, I would use those, especially where you are now. I would maybe use those, especially if you're lucky enough to live like on the Florida coast or like Texas, Louisiana, come on. Basically, you know, like on the Gulf, on that part, I'm thinking the Gulf side of Florida. Like, I would definitely use that because, you know, that energy, all that is, you know, representing tapping into the abundance energy that is part of the way she's representing ancestress Marie Laveau. That's just how I think. Anyway, but yeah, this is what I'm talking about. So, if this couldn't get any better, I realized this lady made cards, oracle cards. Oh my gosh. So on top of all that, the oracle cards. The oracle cards are the goddesses that I just sat there and read about. And I'm here for it. I'm so here for it. Like, I think there might be, I think it's the, yeah, I'm trying to think if there's extras in here. I don't know. I didn't count. But like I set surrender. Look at this. Beautiful cards. Hopefully I'm getting this all on camera. Beautiful cards. I'm in. Like, she got me. So we were talking about Yamaye Awakening. So this is the card for her. So let's get into it. So if you were wondering about this, so let's talk about this. So that's in the card number 40. And it comes with a book. So I love oracle cards. I'm really getting into those more. I mean, I still love tarot, don't get me wrong, but I'm starting to also love oracle cards after years of just not ever feeling like I know where to put them. But it's black and white, it's not color. But she says, Goddess of Yamaye, Goddess of Awakening, Temple, High Priestesses, Element Water. Goddess Yamaye controls the ocean, amniotic fluid that nurtures us before we know ourselves, the healing, loving energy of this Yoruba mother, Orisha, in parentheses, deity, never leaves you. Her guidance, Yamaye's guidance. Wake up, awaken now to your true self. Are those tears of joy or sorrow? Let them out. Yamaye swallows your tears. Ooh, girl, that gets me. And then there's a section that says embodiment. You are vibrating at a higher frequency, so you see everything differently. This is a goddess rising. You are waking up. And once you have experienced awakening, you can never go back to not knowing. That is so true. The path of awakening is not straight, comfortable, or easy. You have chosen to lift the veil and have a real relationship with the divine. And then it just goes on. I'm receiving and goddess declaration. I am receiving and radiating love. So you can use these cards in a bunch of different ways. So if I wanted to really, let's say I'm in that book and I'm on that chapter where we're talking about her, I want to pull her card out. Maybe I'm taking a week. You know, maybe I'm reading this and I'm meditating and I'm thinking about this for a couple days or a week. I maybe want to put this on my altar. Maybe I want to put her card someplace where I can visually, you know, feel like I'm in touch with it, or maybe by my bedside table. So I wake up in the morning because I really want to tap into this energy she's talking about. In this case, she's talking about awakening, wake up, you know. This is a great way to just align with that energy. These cards are a visual representation. Genius, actually. Love it. I'm grateful to this woman who thought all of this out like this. So, excuse me. The book and the cards. This is just the book about the cards, so I'm just showing it to you. I say get them both. I think that you can sort of build a very, you know what, I'm gonna say this. I think it's called Sacred Woman, Sacred Womanhood. I did a witchy review on it. I know a lot of women, black women specifically, they love that book. It's still in print. Her name is Afua, Queen Afua, I think. I think she goes by Queen or Afua is the author. She's also on YouTube. Her book, first of all, you can take things from that book to help you become more spiritual and more aligned. I totally agree. However, that book had too many Abrahamic overtones for me. I know for other people, they're like, what's she talking? Well, what's wrong with that? I like that. Then you get it. You're fine. Where African Goddess Initiation delivered what I thought I was going to get from that other book. I needed the idea of ritual. I needed that. Now, the author of Fu, the way she writes, she's an elder, by the way. Respect her. Love what she represents. Don't get it twisted. She goes into a lot more detail about the minutia, you know, like diet and all that. And I think it's worth having that at least for that purpose and conduct and all that sort of stuff, there's a lot there to work with, okay? However, the spirituality piece that I was really looking for was delivered in a way that was more palatable for me, who is not by any means remotely, peripherally involved with Abrahamic religions. I know that's the predominant thing. I understand that. I live in this world. I live on this plane of existence. I understand that. But when you come here and when we talking and when I'm giving you this, that's not my focus. I'm not trying to constantly tie into that religion or those types of religions when I'm you see what I'm saying? When I'm giving these reviews, when I'm reading these books, I'm very much into my own spirituality, which is not that. If there are similarities that you come across, so be it. But isn't that the same for a lot of different, throughout, we're human. I mean, there's nothing new under the sun, just somebody new, they say. Anyway, the point is, overlap might happen. I completely understand that. But that's never where I'm coming from. I don't have that as my frame. I haven't had that as my frame, and I consciously work so I wouldn't, because I genuinely appreciate reading about bringing it back to African goddess initiation, reading about these goddesses or ancestresses, reading about their backstory, and just taking it at face value as is, not thinking, oh, because this is like this character in that book. Like, I don't do that. I don't even remotely think like that. I don't even know how to do that. That would mean I consult other people's religious texts under the Abrahamic umbrella, and I don't. So I don't know. So anyway, I just kind of want to point that out. And I'm only going down that road because the other book, Sacred Woman, or I think it's called Sacred Woman. I don't know. If I'm wrong, I'll again put the description, put a little text or something. I feel like there were opportunities missed. I appreciate the level of detail she provided. However, I did not appreciate those overtones. That's a turn off for me and people who are probably also not wanting to hear that. Just saying. Anyway, moving on. This book was worth a whole review, a whole video by itself, because I think that is truly something that can guide you. I think if you're looking for something, if you're looking for a way to practice witchcraft, if you're looking for a way to practice or not practice, but get in touch with the feminine, divine feminine, if you feel like there's something, a push-pull thing happening where it's like, you see different ways people are practicing and doing things, and it almost resonates with you, but something that also kind of keeps you from moving forward. I think this book is the answer for if you're going through that, because she is more practical minded. At the same time, she's encouraging you to expand the way you think, how you feel, allow yourself to feel. She's really promoting that with each of these rituals, and recognizing that you have the power. These goddesses that she's telling you, she's just basically saying, tap into that energy. You're allowed. You have access to that. You can use that to better yourself. Anyway, that's all I got to say. Let me know in the comments if you've started reading her book, and also, are you doing the rituals? I'm going to go back and do the rituals because I think it's important. I know it's important for me, and it's going to be part of my practice. My actual practice, witchcraft practice, is doing those rituals. They're for me to do. I feel like there's going to be extreme value. And you know what? As I do them, you guys will get to see. If there's more I need to talk about as I go through those, I'll definitely share here. But I'm going to make it part of my practice. If I don't, maybe a ritual a week. So it should take me some time to go through them because it was a lot. Yeah, and I can use the cards in combination. So I'm really looking forward to this. In a way, I'm almost glad I kind of cheated and didn't do each ritual when I was done reading, because it's an opportunity for me to sort of take an even more slower approach, because I took forever to read this book, and really concentrate on the doing part, not just the reading, but the doing part. And like I said, make it a part of my personal witchcraft, my practice. Like, it's that profound to me that I want to include it in how I practice. So that's telling you something. Anyway, that's all I got. Thanks for watching. Again, I'm Mika. This is Leap Taken. Don't forget, please like, subscribe, and share. And as always, thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.